Taurus, thanks for visiting. This is your reading for July 15th to July the 21st. Yes, that's right. And if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, as I always ask you, or leave a comment or whatever you'd like to do. I don't mind. You can leave nice ones, bad ones, I don't mind. Sorry, I'm being silly, I'm sorry. So I'm going to start right now for Taurus. I'm sorry about that. So the first card you have your past is Judgment. So yeah, I'm feeling very heavy when I look at this. There's a lot of heaviness around this. Usually it's like, wake up, let's move to something big and positive and move on and out with the old in with the new and all of that. To me, with this card, I'm seeing it is a wake-up call with this beautiful angel blowing this trumpet. I think you're going through this time of a lot of heaviness. I think you're very, very busy. You're probably a bit exhausted. And then you got to this point where you just said to yourself, you know, I can't keep going. I can't keep going the way I'm going. I have to do something completely different. This is not working. If I keep on going like this, I'm going to burn myself out and it's going to be a disaster. So I think before this revelation happened, when you realized you had to change, you know, you're just so tired, you're just run down. I think, you know, I think this has probably been building quite slowly over time. So sometimes these things build up and you don't notice they're happening, and then you turn around and you realize that's been sneaking up on you. And I think you tried to keep going, you tried to do lots of things, but it got to the point where you just couldn't anymore. And I think it's mainly around work. I think you had overworked yourself, you know, business, career, all of that. But I think that was seeping over into other areas of your life. So you were kind of tired, snappy. Maybe you're hitting your alarm a lot of times, you know, hitting the snooze over and over again. Just, you know, not much enthusiasm. You're just overtired. And I don't know if you have a job where, you know, you have to be up all the time, but I'm seeing that. It was this extra pressure. Maybe you teach, maybe it's something like that. Doesn't have to be traditional teaching, something like that where you're with people, interacting with people. So it was like you had to keep up this kind of facade of enthusiasm. You might be in a shop or something like that, I don't know. But you had to keep up this kind of, hello, how are you? Yes, I'm so happy today. Everything's great. I'm really enthusiastic. And actually you weren't feeling like that. So when you have to do that, it can feel even more exhausting than usual, because you're kind of having to kind of act as well. And not that you had to be fake or whatever, but it was like you have to, if you're in a job where you have to be like that, you just have to. You know, you can't, if you're facing customers or whatever, or if you're a teacher, you can't roll up and stand up in front of a class and kind of go, hello, I'm not in a good mood today. Like, you can't be like that. You can't, you know. So, you know, that put this extra kind of layer of pressure on you. So, yeah, it was definitely time to change things. This card can be about total overhauls and all of that, but you couldn't do that at this time. It wasn't like you could just get up and leave your work and walk off. I mean, loads of people would love to do that every single day. You couldn't do that. So I think you had to make, for the time being, I think you had to make some little changes. I think they're important changes though, small things that kind of were going to make a big difference to you. So if this is resonating, I think if you haven't made these changes yet, or if you're still thinking about this, I think you're probably going to have a little bit of breathing space before you start doing that. You know, see if you can take some time out, even if it's just a day. Stand back, think about all of this really carefully, because these are significant changes. It's like they're going to set you up for what happens probably in the next year, maybe even more. So go about this carefully, because I think once you've made some of these decisions, it's going to be hard to go back on them. So if this is resonating, take some time out, really get a clear head. And I know you can't do that when you're still in this job, running around doing what you're doing. So if you can take some time off, if you can take the weekend off, or just over the weekend, just clear your head, meditate if you need to, get your head clear before you make these changes. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have your past is Temperance. So yeah, again, temperance can be about rising up out of an old situation into a better one. And it's about working on this yourself. It's not about some magical process that happens. You're working on this, making this happen. The angel's putting this work in. You can see that. So, and he's concentrating. So, I'm just looking at this Judgment card again. I think you might have had another kind of wake-up call as well. I think someone really disappointed you. I think you're around someone quite a lot and you're kind of going along and you thought everything was fine, and then this person said something that really, really disappointed you. And I think this all happened probably when you're right in the depths of this kind of stress and this busyness of what I was seeing going on in the Judgment card. Yeah, they really hurt you. That's what I'm seeing, and I don't think they realised how serious this was for you. Yeah, it was definitely something they said, and I think they might have said this without thinking, and it really, really got to you. It was quite personal. Part of why this hit you so hard was the timing, I think. You were just really stressed, you're very emotional and very exhausted, very, everything else that comes with that. And so you were extra sensitive when they did say that. But that doesn't mean, I'm not saying, oh, well, you're just sensitive, it was fine what they said and you're just being sensitive. No, that's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. They were definitely in the wrong. They shouldn't have said what they said. But I think the stress added an extra layer of sensitivity to this. So I think you were affected a lot more than you normally would have been. But I think you're starting to heal from this now. You're just starting to feel, I think you're still feeling a bit hurt about this actually, but you're starting to get through this. You're kind of working through this. The other thing I'm seeing around this person who said this thing to you is they can dish it out, but they can't receive it, if that makes sense. It sounds bad, but they're quite sensitive as well themselves. So, if anyone's saying anything to them, they're really upset and they're really offended and whatever else. But they do similar or even worse to other people, and they don't see that themselves. So they're kind of oblivious to what they're actually like themselves. So, the Judgment card, just looking at that again, it can be about examining yourself, seeing yourself for who you truly are, seeing your faults. And there's a family in this card and there's a family opposite them, so it's kind of a mirror image. So when you look in the mirror, you examine yourself, and that's what this person needs to do. I know this isn't their reading, it's your reading, but yeah, they need to look at themselves, they need to examine themselves. And I think the problem with really, really super sensitive people who are like that, and kind of volatile people as well, if someone tells them, if someone says to them, you really need to take a look at yourself, you're very sensitive what other people have to say to you, but you're really nasty to other people, so you really have to think about what you're like. If you say that to someone as a friend, which if you're a good friend, you should be honest with them, wow, they would go crazy and they probably wouldn't talk to you. And so it's very hard to say something like that to someone like that. I know that. But yeah, they should have been examining themselves. They should really see themselves for who they are. So I won't go on about them. This is about you. So the last card you have your past is the Page of Swords. Okay, so I think you did distance yourself from this person. I think you're probably in two minds as to whether you're going to let them into your life again or what you're going to do. You're kind of at this stage where you distance yourself from this person. You didn't know whether you were going to kind of move on from them, not see them anymore, or whether you're going to let them back in. You were just kind of at this point where you just didn't quite know. I don't think you'd said what you were going to do just because you weren't sure what you were going to do at this time. I think they were feeling the distance between you. They really were feeling that distance. And I don't think they were trying to contact you or anything, but I think they were definitely watching you, probably on social media. If you have social media, not everyone does. I often say in these readings, oh, well, this has probably happened on social media. And people say, I don't have social media. Well, they're either watching you on social media, or they were hearing things about you. you know, trying to talk to people about you. It's like they were trying to find things out about you outside of asking you or talking to you. So that's what that means. You know, really, they should have just come to you and said to you, if there's something wrong, please tell me what it is. Let me apologize, or at least explain, or something. I just think people need to be upfront with other people. They weren't like that. And I also think what I'm seeing here, which is interesting, is that you're very intuitive, and you're especially intuitive at this time. I think, you know, you can feel when people are around you. You can feel when someone's behind you, even if they're far away from you. So you could feel this. You could feel that they were watching you, thinking about you, probably talking to other people about you at this time. But they really should have been talking to you. So maybe they're a little bit afraid, because, you know, don't be angry, but you can be a little bit scary sometimes. You can be a little bit opinionated. But really, there's no excuse for them not coming forward. They knew they hurt you. You know, whether you're scary, whether you're not, whatever you're like, if they've hurt you, and they know they have, I can see that. If you have hurt someone, or if they have hurt you, they should come and talk to you about it, and they weren't doing that. And it was very, very personal. It was something that hurt you a lot. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, it was still unresolved at this time. So, okay, so the first card you have your present is the Magician. This is a fantastic card. I love this card. So, okay, so I was seeing a little bit of this in the Page of Swords, and I'm seeing it very, very strongly here now in the Magician. So you have this really, really, really very, very, very sharp intuition at this time, and that's what I'm seeing. It's very, 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 very strong. You probably noticed this. You probably have noticed this. You can feel people's energy. You can feel the energy in a room, whether it's light, heavy, what's been going on. I think these feelings are going to be way, way, way stronger for you at this time. So this is the time for you to use this. Use this to your advantage. You know, things like you'll know who to be around, you'll know who to avoid, you'll know what to say at the right time, you'll know what to ask at the right time. You might even be able to sense what people are thinking, what they're about to say, not word for word, but you'll sort of be able to sense, you know, things like whether they're going to say yes or no to you. You'll be able to feel it. I hope this doesn't sound too strange, but, you know, this is what I'm seeing here. So, okay, so there's someone around you, and I think this is a love connection, or it might be someone you're just talking to. I think it probably is very, very early days, because I'm getting this, that you want to ask someone the truth about something, or you want to find out the truth about something from this person. Now, if this was someone who you're in a kind of a more established relationship with, I think you'd probably come out and ask them, you know, because you're a very straightforward person. So this is indicating to me that this is someone that you're either just starting to talk to, or it's very early on in the relationship, or you might have a crush on them even. It might be that. You want to ask them something, but you don't want to come out and ask them. So when you're in this kind of mode of having very sharp intuition, I know this is going to sound really tricky, and I don't mean to be tricky, but the Magician's tricky, so that's my excuse. I'll use that. If you're around this person, go around this person and just bring the subject up. Don't say, please tell me the answer to this. Just talk about the subject in a kind of a neutral way. So for example, I know it's probably not about this. Just say, if you want to talk about a book, you say, so something about books, you know, and then if you look at them, they'll give you that sign that, you know, whether that's true or not, or whether that's right or wrong or what. So obviously it's not about a book, it's about some thing that you want to be revealed, that you'd love to know, and you don't want to come out and ask them. So if this is resonating with you, if you do have this thing you'd like to know, this is the time to do that. This is the time to be a little bit tricky. You're not hurting anyone, so don't be mad at me, please, in the comments. Don't say, oh, you're evil. It's quite harmless. So, excuse me. So just do that. Talk about the subject in a kind of a way that's kind of not threatening. It's just kind of bring it up naturally. Don't just talk about it in, out of nowhere. And I think if you look at them, listen to them, you'll be able to sense what the answer to that is. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope you try it, and I hope you tell me what happens if this resonates with you. So, excuse me, that's the first card. That's the first time I've ever kind of seen something like that, and that's the first card. Keep on saying card, because I always say the first card, the second cards. Yeah, that's the first time I've kind of suggested a trick. So, okay, so the next card you have for your present is the Empress. Don't be mad at me. I think someone might be coming back to communicate with you. Now, this isn't a love connection. This is a relative, I think. This is a family member. I think there was a big falling out at some time between your family and this person. But I actually think there was a separate falling out between you, particularly, and this person. So there are layers of this. There are layers of this around this, and it's quite stressful. So you've had a very up and down relationship with this person. They're another kind of a sensitive type of person, a very testy person. You have these kinds of people around you at this time. So this is another one. And yeah, I think what's going to happen is they're going to come back, if they haven't already. This is in the present, and you're going to take this very slowly when they connect again. Very, very, very slowly. You might not even speak to them at all early on. So, because there's a lot of stress around this, I'm feeling this quite deeply. I know the Empress isn't a stressful card, but I think one of the reasons why this is so stressful is because you do care about them, and there's a lot of care in the Empress. She's like the mother. She takes care of everyone. So you do care about this person, and that's a part of what makes it so stressful for you. So on the one hand, you're not happy with them. You're not happy with things that they've done and whatever. But on the other hand, you still care about them. So yeah, just take your time with this. Follow your own instincts on this. I think there might be some other relatives who might want to make you hurry up on this. And yeah, I am seeing one person who wants to do this. I'm seeing someone who's kind of like, oh, let's all be one big happy family again, and let's all get together and have dinner out, and you're just like, no, I'm not ready for that yet. That's how I'm seeing this. You take your time. I think this person needs to earn your trust, just like this person in the Temperance card. They need to earn your trust. You can't just, these people can't just expect to snap their fingers and have you running back to them. It doesn't happen like that. Certainly not with you. You're earth, you're stable. You don't just jump up and down to everyone's tune. No. So, and I think in both of these cases, these were both quite serious things as far as your feelings went. So no, you take your time and you work yourself out in your time. You decide what you want to do. So the last card you have your presence, the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, this is sort of reflecting what I was seeing in the Judgment card. You're rearranging things to make life easier for you. It was a lot deeper than that, because I think you're bordering on burnout. It was quite serious for you. But yeah, anyway, what I did see there briefly was you thinking about branching out on your own. And if that resonates with you, I think this would be the perfect time for you to start planning that, working your way toward that. If you look at this man on this card and you look at his apron, oh, you can't see it, I'll move it up so you can see. So, if you look at that, what I'm seeing in his apron is, it's tied at the back with these little bows. And to me, they look a little bit like butterflies. And butterflies represent freedom, coming out of a cocoon and flying away into freedom. So there's work, You're working and working and working. You're probably in your little cocoon, and after a while, it's going to be time for you to burst out of that and fly away into freedom. So yeah, now's the time to plan this. If this is what you want to do, you have this card, you have the Empress, which can be about abundance, you have Temperance, and you have the big one, you have the Magician. So it's time to start this, and if you start this, if you keep on going down this road, it will be very positive. It'll be very good for you. You'll probably be able to make a full-time living out of this, working on your own or this business or something. It's going to be very, very, very good for you. Again, I'm not saying leave your job today, because I don't think you can do that anyway. But start planning this now. You know, stay in your cocoon for a while, keep on working along, and then you'll know when it's time to get out. And that's what I'm seeing in that card. So I hope that does resonate with you. So the first card you have for your future is the Six of Swords. So yeah, branching out, leaving, moving forward. So yeah, if you do go out on your own in a business or whatever, or you become self-employed or whatever, it's not going to be easy, especially in the beginning. You know, it's going to be very stressful. It's probably going to feel a little bit more stressful than your actual job is right now. But it's not, it's going to be a different kind of stress. It's not going to be this horrible burnout. It's going to be a stress where it's like a better kind of stress. It's like stress where you're responsible for everything. You're in charge of everything. I think there might also be someone else who you're supporting, or someone you have to take care of, or someone you need to take into consideration, because there's a mother and a child on this card. It might be your child, might be your partner, it might be anyone else you're taking care of, or anyone else who you have to take into consideration. So, you know, for that reason, again, it's going to take some time for you to sort all this out. I think financially, you'll also probably have to save an amount and put it beside, or put it somewhere, put it aside, not beside, what did I say that for? Put it aside, so that you can kind of tide yourself over if you need to, you know, because when you're starting out, it's very up and down. It takes a long time to break even in a business. So you are going to need that as well. So work hard, plan this, put some money aside, do all of that. And when you're ready, it's going to be time. Yeah, it's going to take time, but I think, yeah, if you stay where you are now until you're ready, you plan this properly, you can do this, absolutely. You know, you have the Magician. That's a perfect, fantastic sign that this is going to be positive for you. So yeah, the next card you have for your future is the Eight of Wands. Okay, so I think this is about the situation in the Empress with this relative coming back. This is going to really stress you out, I think, because what I'm seeing is they went away, and a part of you missed them because you do care about them. But a part of you was relieved as well when they went, because they brought you so much stress, so many problems, so much drama. And so part of you was like, oh, I'm so glad they're gone. I can just have some peace and I don't have to worry about this. But then another part of you was sort of mourning what you should have had. You're like, you know, this is my relative. This is my whoever this is. Might be son, daughter, mother, you know, brother, someone. You know, I really should have this better relationship with them. I really should. You know, I'd love to have that. I see these other people that have these great relationships with their family members, and I don't have that. And I'm really sad, because I do care for them deep down. So, you know, there was a lot of stress around this, and there are a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of mixed emotions around this. I keep on seeing this person who's going to want to get everyone together quickly and have happy families and all of that when this person comes back. And I keep on seeing this. It's going to be too soon for you to even talk to them, I think. So if this person who wants to get everyone together, if they text you, call you, you're just going to have to be really firm with them, I think. Don't let anyone rush you into talking to anyone or doing anything you're not ready to do. Don't be pressured. Take all the time you need. You know, a lot of people are like, well, how can you not talk to your, you know, brother, sister, friend, or whatever, not friend, brother, sister, mother, you know, relative? How can you not talk to them? How can you, oh, that's so sad, you know, you always should forgive your family, blah, 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 blah. They don't have the same relationship with that person that you do, even if they're another relative. Every relative, so your brother is going to have a different, for example, your brother's going to have a different relationship with your mother to what you do, a completely different one. You have shared things, shared memories, but your experience is different to their experience. So it's not up to anyone else to tell you whether you should be with, be with a relative or talk to them or stay around them or not. It's up to you. It's up to you. And it's up to you to have a relationship with them, and it's up to you not to. I've said this before. I've said it's completely up to you as to whether you want to speak to a relative or not, especially a difficult one. And I've had people in my comments say, oh, you should always forgive all your relatives. They're your blood and they're your relatives. Maybe, maybe not. But it's up to you. It's up to you. It's not up to them. It's not up to anyone else. Not up to your brother. Not up to your sister. It's not up to people in the comments. It's up to you. So take your time. You do what you need to around this. Don't do anything until you're ready to do this. That's what I'm seeing in that card. The last card you have, your future, is the Lovers. So yeah, the Lovers as well. This can be about decisions. So yeah, you are going to be feeling a bit conflicted over this. Again, there's love in this card. This is the Lovers. You do love them deep down. You care about this person. But this is your choice to make once again. And the other thing I'm seeing here is there might also be something that you know about them. I was seeing that before, that you had a falling out with them, and the rest of the family had a different kind of falling out with them. So I think it's because you know something about them these other people don't know. And also, I'm seeing the Tree of Knowledge on this card as well. So that's making me think you have this knowledge about this person. So again, only do what you're ready to do. So, okay, so I know a lot of this has been specific, but this is what I've been seeing. So hopefully it does resonate, Taurus. As you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone, as I always say, but if you like this reading, please like, please subscribe, leave a comment if you like to. Thank you so much for watching.